New Jack City, 1991. Cast then and now, 2026. All actors have aged terribly. More than 30 years ago, New Jack City shocked audiences with its raw look at power, crime, and ambition. The film turned several actors into unforgettable faces overnight. But what happened to them after the cameras stopped rolling may surprise you even more. Some built long and successful careers. Others faced personal struggles, controversy, or quietly disappeared from the spotlight altogether. The truth behind the lives of this iconic cast is far more dramatic than many fans realize. So before we begin, take a moment to subscribe and follow The Black Excellence, where we uncover powerful, untold stories from the legends who shaped Black film, music, and entertainment history. Chris Rock. More than 30 years have passed since audiences first met the nervous, unpredictable character known as Pookie in New Jack City. The man behind that unforgettable role was Chris Rock, a performer who, at the time, was still searching for his place in the entertainment world. Today, he is recognized as one of the most influential comedians of his generation, but his journey to that position was far from simple. Chris Rock was born on February 7, 1965, in Andrews, South Carolina, before his family relocated to Brooklyn, New York, where he spent most of his childhood. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood, Rock experienced many of the challenges that later shaped his perspective and comedic voice. He has spoken openly about being bullied in school, an experience that pushed him to develop quick wit and sharp observation. Humor became more than entertainment for him. It became a way to respond to the world around him. In the mid-1980s, Rock began performing stand-up comedy in small clubs throughout New York City. Night after night, he tested new material, slowly developing the confident stage presence audiences know today. His early performances eventually caught the attention of comedian Eddie Murphy, who helped introduce him to a wider audience and open doors in the industry. Soon afterward, Rock joined the cast of the television sketch show Saturday Night Live in the early 1990s. Although appearing on the show was a major opportunity, he often felt overlooked and struggled to stand out among a crowded cast. Around that same time, Rock took on the role of Pookie in New Jack City. The character, a troubled addict caught in a dangerous environment, gave Rock the chance to demonstrate emotional range that surprised many viewers. Instead of treating the role as simple comic relief, he portrayed Pookie with vulnerability and realism, making the character one of the film's most memorable figures. Halfway through looking back at that performance, it raises an interesting question for viewers. When you first watched Pookie on screen, did you imagine that actor would later become one of the most respected comedians in America? The turning point arrived in 1996 when Rock released the HBO stand-up special, Bring the Pain. The performance received critical acclaim and dramatically elevated his career. With fearless commentary on race, culture, and everyday American life, Rock established himself as a bold comedic voice. More successful specials followed, including Bigger and Blacker in 1999 and Never Scared in 2004. Rock later expanded into television production with the series Everybody Hates Chris, which aired from 2005 to 2009 and was inspired by his teenage experiences in Brooklyn. The show introduced a new generation of viewers to his storytelling style while blending humor with reflections on family and resilience. Today, Chris Rock continues performing stand-up and producing projects across film and television. Industry estimates often place his net worth at around $60 million, built from decades of touring, writing, and entertainment work. From the vulnerable character of Pookie to sold-out comedy tours around the world, his career reflects persistence, honesty, and the ability to transform life experiences into stories that continue to resonate with audiences. Ice-T. Long before he became one of television's most recognizable detectives, Ice-T was already known for something very different: his voice. In the late 1980s, his music was bold, confrontational, and often controversial, capturing the raw realities of street life in Los Angeles. But when audiences saw him step onto the screen as Detective Scotty Appleton in New Jack City, they witnessed a new chapter in his career begin. Born Tracy Lauren Marrow in Newark, New Jersey in 1958, Ice-T's early life was marked by hardship. After losing both of his parents at a young age, he moved to Los Angeles to live with relatives. Growing up in South Central during a turbulent era exposed him to the social struggles that later became central themes in his music. By the mid-1980s, he had established himself as one of the pioneers of West Coast hip-hop, releasing influential albums such as Rhyme Pays in 1987 and Power in 1988. His lyrics combined storytelling with social commentary, helping define a new direction in rap music. When director Mario Van Peebles cast Ice-T in New Jack City, some critics questioned whether a rapper could convincingly portray a police detective. Yet his performance as Scotty Appleton surprised many viewers. Instead of feeling like a celebrity cameo, the role carried a sense of authenticity. Ice-T brought intensity and realism to the character, helping anchor the film's story of crime, ambition, and justice. That transformation began in 2000 when Ice-T joined the cast of Law and Order, Special Victims Unit as Detective Odafin Tutuola. What initially appeared to be just another acting role gradually became a defining part of his career. Year after year, the series continued, and Ice-T remained a central figure. Over time, he became one of the most familiar faces in crime drama television, introducing his character to millions of viewers around the world. Outside of acting, Ice-T continued exploring other creative ventures. He worked as a producer, author, and musician while also speaking publicly about culture, music history, and social issues. His ability to move between industries, from hip-hop to Hollywood, demonstrated a rare kind of versatility. Today, after decades in entertainment, Ice-T's career reflects remarkable longevity. Industry estimates often place his net worth around $60 million, built through music royalties, television work, and various business ventures. Yet perhaps the most impressive part of his journey is the way he continuously reinvented himself. From pioneering rapper to respected television actor, Ice-T's path reminds audiences that careers can evolve in unexpected directions. Sometimes the very skills that once made someone controversial can later become the foundation for lasting success. Mario Van Peebles. When audiences remember New Jack City, they often think of the explosive rise of Nino Brown's empire or the intense battle between crime and justice. Yet behind the camera and right in the middle of the action stood one man whose vision shaped the entire film. That man was Mario Van Peebles. Not only did he play the determined Detective Stone, but he also directed the movie, carrying the responsibility of bringing the entire story to life. For a relatively young filmmaker at the time, it was a bold move that would define a pivotal moment in his career. Mario Van Peebles was born in 1957 in Mexico City, while his father, the groundbreaking filmmaker Melvin Van Peebles, was working abroad. Growing up in a household where storytelling and filmmaking were part of everyday life, Mario developed an early understanding of cinema. His father had already made history with the influential 1971 film Sweet Sweetback's Bawdass's Song, a project that challenged the Hollywood system and opened doors for black filmmakers. Watching that path unfold left a lasting impression on Mario. Before stepping behind the camera, Van Peebles built experience as an actor throughout the 1980s, appearing in television shows and films while slowly learning the craft of filmmaking. But acting alone was never enough for him. He wanted to shape stories, control narratives, and bring perspectives to the screen that were rarely explored in mainstream Hollywood at the time. That opportunity arrived when he directed New Jack City in 1991. The film captured the rise of a powerful drug empire in New York during the crack epidemic, blending crime drama with social commentary. Made on a budget of roughly $8 million, the movie surprised many observers by earning about $47 million at the U.S. box office. Its success helped cement its reputation as one of the defining urban crime films of the early 1990s. Looking back at that moment today raises an interesting question for viewers. When you first watched New Jack City, Did you realize that the detective chasing the criminals was also the filmmaker guiding the entire story behind the scenes? Following the film's success, Van Peebles continued pursuing ambitious projects. In 1993, he directed Posse, a Western highlighting the largely overlooked history of black cowboys. 2 years later, he directed Panther, a film exploring the rise of the Black Panther Party. While these projects earned attention for their bold themes, they also faced mixed reactions from critics and studios, showing how challenging it could be to tell politically charged stories in Hollywood. Despite those obstacles, Mario Van Peebles remained active in both film and television for decades. As an actor, director, and producer, he continued contributing to projects that explored culture, identity, and history. His career reflects persistence and creative independence in an industry that often resists change. More than 30 years after New Jack City, the film still stands as a landmark of its era, and Mario Van Peebles remains one of the key figures who helped bring that powerful story to the screen. Bill Nunn. In many films, the most memorable characters are not always the ones with the most screen time. Sometimes a brief appearance can leave the strongest impression. That was certainly true for Bill Nunn in New Jack City. Playing the strange and unpredictable character known as Duh Man, Nunn brought an unusual presence to the film. His role was small, but audiences remembered it because of the distinctive way he delivered the character's awkward speech and unsettling behavior. Bill Nunn was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in 1953. His father, Bill Nunn Sr., worked as a respected scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers football team and helped build several championship rosters during the 1970s. While sports were an important part of his family's world, the younger Nunn chose a different direction. He became interested in theater and storytelling, eventually studying acting at Morehouse College in Atlanta. That decision would quietly set the stage for a long career in film and television. One of the most important turning points in Nunn's career came through his collaboration with director Spike Lee. In 1989, he appeared in Lee's influential film Do the Right Thing, where he played the towering Radio Raheem. The character, known for carrying a booming boombox and repeating the words "love" and "hate," became one of the most recognizable figures in the film. Radio Raheem's tragic fate also turned the character into a powerful symbol within the story. By the time New Jack City was released in 1991, Nunn had already established himself as a reliable supporting actor. Although he rarely played leading roles, his strong screen presence made him memorable in every project he joined. Directors often relied on him to bring intensity and authenticity to their stories. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Nunn continued appearing in a wide range of films. He had roles in Sister Act, 1992, Candyman, 1992, and later in the popular Spider-Man trilogy directed by Sam Raimi. In those films, he portrayed Robbie Robertson, the calm and professional editor working alongside Peter Parker at the Daily Bugle newspaper. Despite a career that included dozens of film and television appearances, Nunn remained a relatively private person. He maintained strong ties to his hometown of Pittsburgh and often supported community arts programs there. Friends described him as thoughtful, humble, and deeply dedicated to his craft. In September 2016, Bill Nunn passed away at the age of 62 after battling leukemia. Many fans were surprised by the news because he had kept his illness largely private. Looking back today, his legacy is defined not by fame alone, but by consistency. Whether playing Radio Raheem, Duh Man, or a newspaper editor, Bill Nunn brought authenticity and quiet power to every role he performed. Alan Payne. Some characters in New Jack City were powerful, others were dangerous, but few were as memorable as G-Money. The man behind that role was Alan Payne, an actor who brought both charisma and tragedy to the screen. As the loyal partner to Nino Brown, G-Money represented ambition, friendship, and ultimately betrayal within the film's story. For many viewers, his performance became one of the most emotional elements of the movie. Alan Payne was born Alan Roberts on July 7, 1968, in Harlem, New York. Growing up in one of New York City's most historic neighborhoods exposed him to both cultural richness and difficult realities. Like many young actors starting out, Payne faced the challenge of breaking into an industry where opportunities were never guaranteed. However, his natural screen presence and calm intensity quickly caught the attention of casting directors during the early 1990s. His role in New Jack City arrived at a crucial moment in his career. As G-Money, Payne portrayed a character who rose quickly through the criminal empire led by Nino Brown, but eventually paid the price for loyalty and ambition. The character's journey from trusted partner to tragic victim gave Payne the opportunity to show emotional depth at a young age. Even decades later, many fans still remember the shocking turning point involving G-Money near the film's climax. Thinking back to that performance raises an interesting question for viewers today. When you first watched New Jack City, did you expect Alan Payne to become one of television's most recognizable faces years later? After the film's success, Payne continued building his career throughout the 1990s. One of his most notable roles came in the 1994 drama Jason's Lyric, where he played Joshua Jason Alexander. The film explored love, trauma, and redemption in Houston, Texas, and allowed Payne to show a quieter, more emotional style of acting. His performance in that movie helped solidify his reputation as a serious dramatic actor. In the following years, Payne transitioned more heavily into television. His most widely recognized role came with the long-running sitcom Tyler Perry's House of Payne, where he played the responsible and disciplined firefighter C.J. Payne. The show first premiered in 2006 and quickly became one of the most successful series in creator Tyler Perry's television universe. Payne's character served as a steady center within the family-focused storylines, introducing him to millions of viewers across the United States. Despite working in Hollywood for decades, Payne has maintained a relatively private personal life. Unlike many celebrities, he rarely appears in tabloids or public controversies. This quiet approach has allowed him to focus primarily on acting rather than publicity. Today, Alan Payne is still recognized for the balance he has maintained between film and television. From the dramatic intensity of G-Money in New Jack City to the dependable family man on House of Payne, his career reflects consistency and longevity. While some actors chase constant attention, Payne's journey shows that steady work, discipline, and dedication can create a lasting presence in the entertainment industry. Vanessa A. Williams. In the ruthless world portrayed in New Jack City, power was not reserved only for the men. One of the most striking figures in that dangerous empire was Keisha, the fearless enforcer who stood beside Nino Brown. The actress behind that commanding performance was Vanessa A. Williams. With her confident presence and sharp delivery, she brought intensity to a role that helped break the stereotype of women being merely background characters in crime dramas. Vanessa A. Williams was born on May 12, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York. From an early age, she showed an interest in performance, eventually studying acting and building experience through theater and television appearances. Like many young performers entering Hollywood during the late 1980s and early 1990s, she faced the challenge of standing out in an industry where opportunities could be unpredictable. Her role in New Jack City arrived at a crucial point, giving her a chance to demonstrate strength, confidence, and dramatic presence on screen. As Keisha, Williams portrayed a character who was both loyal and dangerous, someone capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with powerful figures in the film's criminal world. The role required intensity and composure, and Williams delivered both. Her performance helped make Keisha one of the most memorable female characters in the movie. After the success of the film, Williams continued working steadily in Hollywood. One of her most significant roles came later in the television drama Soul Food, where she played the strong and outspoken Maxine Chadway. The series, which aired from 2000 to 2004, became one of the longest-running dramas on cable television centered on an African-American family. Her character, a determined attorney navigating both career and family challenges, resonated with many viewers. Williams also appeared in numerous television series and films throughout the following decades, building a reputation as a dependable and versatile actress. Despite working in a competitive industry, she managed to maintain a steady career while balancing personal responsibilities. However, one unusual challenge followed her for many years. Because another well-known entertainer shared a very similar name, Vanessa Williams, the two were often confused by casting directors, media outlets, and audiences. The similarity even led to occasional mix-ups in credits and publicity. Over time, the distinction of the middle initial became essential for maintaining her professional identity. Outside of acting, Williams has also spoken about personal struggles, including periods of emotional stress and the challenges of raising children while working in the entertainment industry. Through those experiences, she remained committed to her career and her family. Today, Vanessa A. Williams continues to be remembered for the strong characters she portrayed across film and television. From the fierce Kesha in New Jack City to the determined Maxine in Soul Food, her career reflects resilience and adaptability in an industry that constantly changes. While Hollywood fame can be unpredictable, Williams's work remains part of the legacy of one of the most iconic crime films of the early 1990s. Michael McKell. In the stylish yet dangerous world of New Jack City, few characters represented glamour and ambition quite like Selena. The woman behind that role was Michael McKell, whose calm confidence and elegance added a striking contrast to the chaos surrounding Nino Brown's empire. While many characters in the film were defined by violence or power struggles, Selena carried an aura of sophistication that made her presence memorable. Michael McKell was born on August 30th, 1966, in Evansville, Indiana. Before entering the entertainment industry, she studied theater and developed an interest in performing arts at a young age. Like many actors trying to break into Hollywood in the late 1980s, McKell began with modeling and smaller acting opportunities while working toward larger roles. Her natural screen presence and polished style helped her stand out during casting auditions. Her appearance in New Jack City became one of the earliest moments that introduced her to a wide audience. As Selena, McKell portrayed a woman closely connected to the powerful drug empire at the center of the story. The role required a balance of confidence, elegance, and emotional restraint, and she delivered a performance that quietly commanded attention without dominating the screen. Reflecting on that early moment in her career raises an interesting question. When you first saw Selena in New Jack City, did you imagine the actress would later build a long career across major television dramas? Following the film's release, McKell continued to expand her acting resume throughout the 1990s. One of her most recognized roles came when she joined the cast of the medical drama ER as Dr. Cleo Finch. Appearing in multiple seasons of the popular series, McKell brought intelligence and composure to the character, introducing her to a much larger television audience. Her career later included appearances in several other television projects, including the reboot of the drama Dynasty, where she portrayed Dominique Devereaux. The role allowed McKell to display a different side of her acting ability, combining elegance with sharp authority in a storyline centered on power, family rivalry, and ambition. Beyond acting, McKell has also been open about certain health challenges. She has spoken about living with polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, a condition that can affect hormone levels and physical health. By discussing her experience publicly, she has helped raise awareness about the condition while encouraging others to seek proper medical support. Despite the ups and downs that often accompany long careers in entertainment, McKell has maintained a steady presence in television and film for more than 3 decades. Her work reflects persistence and adaptability in an industry where many early careers fade quickly. Today, Michael McKell remains recognized for the graceful strength she brings to her characters. From the poised Selena in New Jack City to her later roles in television dramas, she has demonstrated the ability to move between different styles of storytelling while maintaining a distinctive on-screen presence. Her career serves as a reminder that sometimes quiet confidence can leave just as strong an impression as the loudest performances. Nick Ashford. Among the intense characters and criminal power struggles in New Jack City, one figure appeared briefly, yet carried a very different kind of authority. Reverend Oates, portrayed by Nick Ashford, represented a voice of conscience within a world overwhelmed by violence and greed. While his screen time in the film was limited, Ashford's presence brought a quiet gravity that reminded viewers of the moral consequences surrounding the story. Long before appearing in New Jack City, Nick Ashford had already built an extraordinary career in music. Born on May 4, 1941, in Fairfield, South Carolina, he later moved to New York City, where his life changed dramatically after meeting singer and songwriter Valerie Simpson. The two formed one of the most successful songwriting partnerships in soul and R&B history. Together, they wrote songs that became timeless classics, including Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, and I'm Every Woman. During the 1960s and 1970s, Ashford and Simpson became closely associated with Motown Records. Their songwriting helped shape the sound of the label's golden era. Artists such as Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell performed some of their most beloved compositions. Later, the duo also found success recording their own music, including the hit song Solid, which became popular in the mid-1980s. Although acting was never his primary profession, Ashford occasionally appeared in television and film projects, bringing his calm presence and deep voice to the screen. His appearance in New Jack City served as a small but memorable moment that connected the worlds of music and film. Behind the scenes, Ashford also faced serious personal challenges later in life. In the early 2000s, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, a difficult condition for someone whose life had been built around music and performance. Despite the illness, he remained active for several years, continuing to perform alongside Valerie Simpson and maintaining their legacy as a legendary musical partnership. Nick Ashford passed away on August 22, 2011, at the age of 70. By the time of his passing, his songwriting had already influenced generations of artists and listeners. Songs he helped create continue to be performed, recorded, and celebrated around the world. Looking back today, Ashford's brief appearance in New Jack City represents only a small chapter of a much larger story. His real legacy lives in the music he created, songs that defined an era of American soul and continue to resonate decades later. While audiences may remember Reverend Oates for a single moment on screen, Nick Ashford's influence on music history remains far more enduring. Bill Cobbs. In the violent world portrayed in New Jack City, most characters are driven by power, money, or survival. Yet one quiet figure stands apart from the chaos. The elderly man who witnesses the destruction of his neighborhood, played by Bill Cobbs, represents something deeper: the ordinary community members forced to live with the consequences of crime. Though his role in the film was small, Cobbs delivered it with a calm dignity that left a lasting impression on audiences. Bill Cobbs was born on June 16, 1934, in Cleveland, Ohio. Unlike many actors who begin their careers at a young age, Cobbs followed a very different path before entering Hollywood. After serving 8 years in the United States Air Force, he worked a variety of jobs, including as a radar technician and a car salesman. It was only later in life that he discovered his passion for acting. Determined to pursue it seriously, he moved to New York City and began performing in theater productions while studying the craft. Cobbs gradually built his acting career during the 1970s and 1980s through appearances in television and film. His natural presence and deep voice made him particularly effective in roles that required authority, wisdom, or quiet strength. By the time he appeared in New Jack City in 1991, he had already become a reliable character actor who could elevate even brief scenes. Looking back at that performance raises an interesting question. Do you remember the moment in New Jack City when the old man speaks about the damage drugs have done to the community? Throughout the following decades, Cobbs continued working steadily across film and television. His resume eventually grew to include more than 200 acting credits, an impressive number that reflected both his dedication and his versatility. Audiences may recognize him from films such as The Bodyguard, 1992, Air Bud, 1997, and the family adventure film Night at the Museum, where he portrayed Reginald, one of the museum guards. Cobbs also appeared in numerous television series, often playing mentors, judges, or respected elders. Directors valued his ability to convey authority without overwhelming a scene. Even when his screen time was brief, his performances carried authenticity that grounded the story. Unlike many actors who chase constant publicity, Cobbs maintained a relatively quiet personal life. Colleagues frequently described him as professional, humble, and deeply dedicated to his craft. He approached acting with the mindset of a lifelong student, always focused on improving rather than seeking fame. In June 2024, Bill Cobbs passed away at the age of 90, leaving behind a career that spanned more than 5 decades. His work may not always have placed him at the center of the spotlight, but his steady presence helped shape countless films and television shows. Today, when viewers revisit New Jack City, the calm voice of the old man still echoes as a reminder that crime stories are never only about criminals and detectives. Sometimes the most powerful message comes from the quiet witnesses who simply hope their community can survive. And in that moment, Bill Cobbs's performance captures that truth perfectly. More than 3 decades after New Jack City, the journeys of its cast reveal how unpredictable life after fame can be. Some stars built lasting careers, others quietly stepped away, and a few left legacies that audiences are still discovering today. Their stories remind us that what happens after the spotlight fades can be just as powerful as the roles that made them famous. But here's the real question. Which story from the cast surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments because your perspective might spark a debate. And if you enjoy uncovering untold stories like these, be sure to follow and subscribe to The Black Excellence for more.